guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, if you cannot tell by the title, we will be going over my top 10 most anticipated new releases for 2025. My favorite thing about the new year, anytime it comes around, is just looking forward to all the new releases that will be coming in that new year. So I narrowed down to my top 10 that I'm most excited about, and we are going to kind of go through them, talk about them, what they're about, and why I'm excited about them. It was really hard to come up with 10 because there's a lot of good books coming next year. I don't know if any of you guys have looked at the Goodreads lists or anything like that, but there are so many good ones. So I narrowed it down to my top 10 and we're gonna just kind of talk about them, and I would love to hear what you guys are also excited to read, because I don't know, every time I have a new year I just get more excited to read. I set more goals for myself, reading goals come around. It's a lot of fun. So the first one I want to talk about is no surprise. I feel like all of us have been waiting for this one and it comes out pretty soon. We are almost exactly a month away. And that is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Loved Fourth Wing. I absolutely loved Fourth Wing. Iron Flame was very disappointing. I feel like that was such an, it talked about an exciting book release all for everyone. I just remember that being such a huge and exciting thing, and it was a letdown. I feel like for a lot of people it was just very, I felt like the book, even though it picked off right where you ended with the first one, it was very slow and the ending was kind of disappointing. I don't want to get into too much details if you haven't read it, which if you haven't read it, I'm shocked. But I just felt like it was a little bit of a disappointment. So I am going into this one cautiously, but I'm also still very hopeful that it'll kind of turn around. Also, the new book looks so pretty, and I don't know if you guys have seen the sprayed edges, but they are gorgeous. But that one comes out on January 21st, so we are exactly a month away from that release, and I am super excited. I really hope we can start the new year with a success. I don't want us to be disappointed again. I really feel like this is such a good, solid story, and I love the characters. I love the dragons. I love a lot of it that I don't want it to just keep going downhill from here. I would love to see this kind of get exciting again and come back around, because it could be really good. And I've heard that I think there's going to be like 5 books in the series, so we need this one to come back and stay strong. The next one, these are in no particular publishing order or anything, by the way. I kind of just randomly pick these, so it's not in any order. The next one I'm really excited about is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry's writing. That is no surprise. Her books are always a favorite for me. Like, I've never read one of her books and have been disappointed. And this one, A Great Big Beautiful Life, it looks so much fun. This one releases on April 22nd, so in the spring. It's about 2 writers compete for the chance to tell the larger-than-life story of a woman with more than a couple of plot twists up her sleeve in this dazzling and sweeping new novel from Emily Henry. They're both writing about a woman, and they're kind of competing to see who has the better story, which is a really interesting premise to me. It says there's going to be mystery, tragedy, and a love ballad, depending on who's telling it. Instead of just being a normal love story, there's like a third person involved, and I'm sure we get to see a lot of her and maybe even a love story from her side. So that's really cool. I'm really excited about that book, and I seriously love Emily Henry's writing. I will read her grocery list. I don't even care. I know it's going to be a top read for me. The next one, this is probably the one I'm most excited about. The book is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. She is the author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, which is my favorite duology I've ever read. I absolutely love that series. It is amazing. The vibes are everything I love from books like that. And so this is her new book, The Night and the Moth, and this is, I believe, part of a new duology called The Stonewater Kingdom, and that releases on May 20th. Let's see what. Okay, so this is another romantasy. It's gothic, again, which I love. Sounds really interesting. So it's definitely a little bit enemies to lovers, always a winner in my book. Yeah, that one sounds really good, and I love the way that she does gothic, eerie, fairy tale-esque like fantasy books. I love it. I mean, she's only written the One Dark Window and the Two Twisted Crowns, that series, but it was amazing, and I really hope it's not just like a one and done. I hope that her books continue to impress me, because I absolutely love her writing. I love her world building. I love her magic system she creates, so I'm really excited to see where that one will go. And so that one's May 20th. Another really popular release I know a lot of people are looking forward to is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez has quickly become everyone's favorite author. I feel like her and Emily Henry are just like hand in hand. They are easy reads. You always enjoy them. They always have a deeper meaning to them, and they're just so much fun. And that one comes out April 1st. So this is about a veterinarian, and him and the main girl, Samantha, go on a really long, unforgettable best date in history. and because of her family situation, family crisis, she is not really in the place to have a relationship, so she kind of asks him to forget about her and to move on, and she can't be dating anyone, and obviously he cannot let that happen. So that's really cute. I've seen people who have the arc of this book absolutely get destroyed and wrecked, so I mean, I know that this book is a lot more, and I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a happy ending. I have no idea, but I've seen people absolutely bawl over this book, so I'm a little bit nervous to get into this one, but I'm also excited. I love when books make you feel things, and I cannot wait for that one. The next book I'm really excited about is Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. So she's the author of The Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter. It's been called both, but this is the second book in that series. And The Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter was a huge shock to me this year. I picked it up kind of not knowing what it really was before it really blew up, and I absolutely loved it. I love the time period it's set in, and the era, just the vibes of it, like the opera house and the ball gowns and the balls, like it's just so beautiful, but the fact that it's still fantasy and romantasy and there's witches, it's just such a cool vibe, so magical. I also love the enemies to lovers in this book. I feel like it was done so well, and I love just the relationship between the two, even though I know it's going to go a different route in the second book, but it was just so good. I'm really excited to go into this one and just kind of see where the story takes place. I know nothing about this series, if it's going to be 2 books, 3 books, 4 books. I have no idea, but I'm really excited about this one because I loved the first book. It was amazing. And that one comes out February 18th. So actually that's really soon. So that's shortly after the Fourth Wing or the Onyx Storm. So that's exciting. We are gonna have a book after a book. We need to get on top of this. I don't want to have books sitting on my TBR. I need to read them. The next one I'm really excited about, I actually just found out about this book. I don't know if people knew about this before me. I just found out that this was coming out, and I'm very excited. It's Ashley Poston's new book, Sounds Like Love. This one comes out on June 17th. This one sounds so good. So I was a little bit thrown off when I found out it was about a songwriter and a musician, because I feel like that's overly done sometimes. But this one is so cute. It's about a songwriter who is having a trouble writing songs. She kind of feels empty inside. She doesn't have any inspiration, so she ends up going back home to North Carolina, hoping that just being near the sand and the surf and her family's musical venue will bring her back to herself. When she finds out that not everything is as it seems, they're losing the venue, her mother is losing her memories, her best friend isn't talking to her, and just everything's going wrong, and she's supposed to be here to find inspiration. She gets a melody stuck in her head. She finds a musician on the beach of Vienna. They end up deciding to write this song together to get it both out of their minds. They kind of have the same idea for a song, and they're hoping that they can just get it out of their minds and move on. But I'm sure that there's going to be a cute little love story, and I'm sure there's going to be so much more to this book than what it says, because her books always kind of get you like that. They read so light-hearted and sweet, and then you find out that it's also going to stick with you for a really long time, so I'm really excited about that one. The next one I'm really excited about is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. This is coming out February 11th, so actually really soon again. And the reason why I'm really excited about this is it's so different than the other books she writes, like her Love Light Farm series. This one's really cute because this one is about a love radio host who is not entirely in love with the idea of love anymore, and which is bad because he's a love radio host, and he is doing and then during one of his shows, a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mom. The interview ends up going viral. But then all of Baltimore ends up scrutinizing her love life because of that going viral, even though she was asking for the love advice for her mom. And everyone's kind of invested in her love life and her love story from this point on. And then I'm sure that the radio host is involved, so that sounds really cute and fun. I'm really excited for that one. So February 11th for that one, so that's actually pretty soon as well. Okay, this other one I am so excited about. I love the Taylor Jenkins Reid Hollywood books. So there's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Malibu Rising, Daisy Jones and the Six, and then Carrie Soto is back. And I honestly didn't think we were going to get any more, but she has a new one coming out called Atmosphere, and this one sounds so cool. This one takes place in the 1980s during the space shuttle program. And basically it's about a woman who hears that they are looking for the first woman to join the NASA scientist program. And so she ends up taking it and she begins training at Houston Johnson Space Center. And then she burns to be one of the few people to go to space. Selected from a pool of thousands of applicants in the summer of 1980, Joan begins training in Houston Johnson Space Center alongside an exceptional group of fellow candidates. Top Gun pilot Hank Redmond and scientist John Griffin, who are kind of easygoing, and even when the stakes are highest, mission specialist Lydia Danes, who has worked too hard to play nice, warm-hearted Donna Fitzgerald, who is navigating her own secrets, and Vanessa Ford, the magnetic and mysterious engineer who can fix any engine and fly any plane. As the few astronauts become unlucky friends, they prepare for their first flights. Joan finds a passion and love she never imagined in this new light. Joan begins to question everything she thinks she knows about her place in the observable universe. Then in December 1984, on mission STS-LR9, everything changes in an instant. It's saying it's fast-paced, it's thrilling, which is super interesting to me. It's very intriguing. I also love the idea of learning more about space, the space program. I think that sounds so fun, and I know I'm gonna love it. I love every single one of her books. She is just an amazing author, and one of my goals going into 2025 is to definitely read more of her books, and so we'll start with this one, and this one releases on June 3rd. Just in time for my birthday, so I'm very excited. Okay, the next one I'm really excited about is also coming out in January. This one is The Crash by Frida McFadden. I have read every single Frida McFadden book, Under the Stars. I love her thrillers. They are just so fast-paced and so bingeable. And I would say 98% of the time, her plot twists always get me. I cannot predict them. She is so twisted. Like, sometimes I worry about her brain because her, like, twisted plot twists are so crazy and insane sometimes. And she has a new book called The Crash coming out January 28th. So this is what it's about. The nightmare she's running from is nothing compared to where she's headed. Tegan is 8 months pregnant, alone, and desperately wants to put her crumbling life in the rearview mirror. So she hits the road, planning to stay with her brother until she can figure out her next move. But she doesn't realize she's heading straight into a blizzard. She never arrives at her destination. Stranded in rural Maine with a dead car and broken ankle, Tegan worries she's made a terrible mistake. Then a miracle, she is rescued by a couple who offers her a room in the warm cabin until the snow clears. But something isn't right. Tegan believes she was waiting out the storm, but as time ticks by, she comes to realize she is in grave danger. The safe haven isn't what she thought it was, and staying here may have been her most deadly mistake yet, and now she must do whatever it takes to save herself and her unborn child. A gut-wrenching story of motherhood, survival, and twisted expectations. Oh, that is so stressful. The fact that she's pregnant too. Ooh, that one's gonna be rough. But I know it's gonna be a bingeable. I'm gonna read that one in a day. Her books I can read so fast, but that sounds scary. Almost kind of sounds like No Exit that I just read by Taylor Adams, getting stuck in a blizzard. So I'm really curious to see how this one goes. And the very last book I want to talk about is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. It is the third book in the Powerless series, and I feel the same way about this series as I do about Fourth Wing, where I loved the first book and the second book was just a disappointing bridge feeling book. So I'm really hopeful for this third book too. I am really scared to see where either of these stories go, and I just really hope that they stay true to why I absolutely fell in love with them in the first place. The way that Reckless did end, I am very, very curious to see how this one goes. And if you've read Reckless, you know the ending is crazy and leaves you on quite a cliffhanger. So I'm really excited to see where this one goes and is about. And I believe it does say Powerless Trilogy, so this is going to be the last book in the series. So I'm expecting some really crazy stuff. And I feel like there is a lot of unresolved tension that we need to address. So I really hope that this book does justice to the series. Those are my top 10 most anticipated reads this year. I am so curious to hear what your excited releases will be. I am so excited for this new year, and also I'm so sad that Bookmas is almost over. After this video, we have one more video and then it's the holidays. And then I won't see you guys till next year because I'm taking a break. But thank you guys so much for watching and staying with me through Bookmas. I will see you guys for one more video, but thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow me on my socials down below just to stay updated. And happy holidays, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
Like and subscribe.